I see the people that are in Washington, D.C. who are trying to insert their woke politics into our culture, trying to destroy Western civilization, trying to take all of our morality away from everyone, trying to make everyone genderless, sexless, and just absolutely godless. I realize that the American people are sick and tired of it. We want our country back. We want our culture back. And if you want to stand in the way of that, we will run you over.
We will run you over. We want our culture back and we want our country back. Who is we again? Who is we and what culture are we talking about? He did say the Western culture, so who's not involved in the West culture? When people like him say, and former Representative King say things like our culture, our Western culture, civilization, it means that everyone else is uncivilized, they don't have a culture. And we have to steamroll them because they're dangerous. What does that sound like again?
The things that we are wanting to fight for, it doesn't matter if our votes don't count.
That's exactly right.
Because if our election systems continue to be rigged and continue to be stolen, then it's going to lead to one place, and that's bloodshed.
Right.
And I will tell you, as much as I'm willing to defend our liberty at all costs, there's nothing that I would dread doing more than having to pick up arms against a fellow American. And the way that we can have recourse against that is if we all passionately demand that we have election security in all 50 states.
So it would be different if he said, I'm worried that it's going to head in that direction and I don't want it to head in that direction. Instead, he said, I'm going to be part of the people picking up arms against fellow Americans if it heads in that direction. Well, that's totally different. That's threatening violence. And he talked about bloodshed, and then he says, now we don't get the electoral security figured out. This is what's going to happen. And again, he was an active part of that hypothetical where he would pick up the weapon and shoot you, fellow Americans.
Let me tell you, the Second Amendment is not written for sporting. The Second Amendment is so that the tyrannical government ever wants to rise up, we can stop them. And if anybody ever wants to say, oh, well, you know what, citizens with a few small arms fire would never be able to stop the federal government. I absolutely disagree. Ask the Viet Cong how they handled the Marines and the Army in Vietnam.
So there are a number of things to touch on, lots of things to unpack in that short statement. First off, any American who's under the assumption that a civilian army or a group of civilians can take on the US military. I mean, where are your drones? Where are your, I mean, they have insane weaponry in the military. The whole reason why we keep engaging in conflicts that we have no business engaging in, well, a huge part of the reason why is to keep that money train, that gravy train going for weapons manufacturers and private contractors. So, I mean, look, you might have a giant arsenal of weaponry yourself, but nothing matches up to what the US military has. So that idea, it's just one of the most, I don't know if they're really that naive and delusional or if they're just saying it to fire people up. I don't know.